Welcome back. Welcome in another week. RMAC Weekly, the penultimate, essentially our last conference only show. Man, it's flown by. How crazy does it feel to be in the last week of the season, Draper?
I mean, like you said, it's flown by. I mean, last week we were talking about week 0 and how lucky we were to be, talking football again, and now we're talking about the end of the year. The possibly could be's and shoulda has beens and the what can happens are about to be coming in front of us. This next week's probably the most important for the whole year of our show, and then obviously we
hmm
get to see what we have next week. In the week one of playoffs.
Oh yeah. Well, speaking of, big games with big implications, we had a huge one last week. We're just gonna jump right into it. We got a little bit of video. Um, Shadron State. They get it done against Western Colorado. You'll see here early Western. They had to go on early. Kai Getzy gets in the end zone, scampering down the sideline, beats the defender to the pylon there. They're gonna come up with a big pick here too. DJ Ralph. So Aiden Thompson actually wasn't in this game. He was in a boot on the sideline. There were actually a bunch of key Shadron players on the sideline with injuries, but you're gonna have. We saw it last week. Problems in the special teams department for Western, having that field goal block there. And then Shadman starts getting it going before halftime. Tommy Thomas, bang, bang play, throws it up there. When you got a guy like Tommy Thomas, you got to give him shots down the field, especially when he only has one man on him. He comes up with a big catch. Drew Nash dropping back here. Yeah, he's showing off the legs. Like Witt always says, he's not fast. He's not going to win a sprint or anything, but he's just effective. He can move. He gets yards somehow, some way. But we're gonna see Western here. I'm trying to remember what exactly happens here. But okay, got a big sack. Shadron, both front sevens on both sides really got it done up front. Neither team could really run the ball. Quinn Bailey wasn't effective on the ground for Western. We're gonna have a replay of that. That was some bad camera work. We're gonna get the replay. You're gonna see DJ Ralph. This looks like a little bit of backyard football. Oh, he's open. Yep, Tommy Thomas. There when you need him, Mr. Consistency. But Western battled back. Drew Nash with back against the wall. I don't know how Mr. Bowen let the Western guy get behind him back there, but Drew Nash finds the guy down there. And then to win into the fourth, Western gets another kick blocked. Special teams matter. I actually saw my old coach there, Coach Martin Rush, and we were talking about how big special teams were, and he kept highlighting it, and then turnovers. Drew Nash pressure in his face early, kind of throws up a ball that I'm sure he definitely regrets. In overtime, Wilson Yee gets it. Look how much confidence they got. This is third down, 3rd and 15. They're like, you know what? We'll kick it. We believe Wilson Yee. And Wilson Yee, he hits it. Shadron gets it done. The fans storm the field. Man, it was crazy. A crazy experience. And you got to tip your hat to Shadron. They got it done. I think. Did you pick? I picked Western. I thought it would be close, but I thought Western. I thought the president would be enough to get it done. No, Shadron revokes him. What'd you think of this game, and what'd you see?
Yeah, I did choose Western to definitely win last week. Off the stream, both of us thought Imagine Shadron won this game, though, and which maybe put that a little to existence there. Drew Nash, I thought, did enough that when you look at his stats, you're like, oh, they're winning this game. It's Western. They're winning the game, but not how they've played the previous 2 weeks now. Like, it might be that cupcake schedule that we've seen them put up these stats and been like, oh, they run away with the game, or they run away with it, or they're running away with it. But now they're letting these teams in the second half still hang around, and that's not something that we've been used to seeing from Shadron. On the Shadron side, I mean, credit to the quarterback room. We are thinking that we're going to get Aiden Thompson in there, and then DJ Ralph comes out, who was started at the beginning of the year, who we said if he was the quarterback, he brings a lot to this offense. So it's cool to see him step back up, especially in a big time game, and take your next step for your team. Tommy Thomas, man, I mean, we talk about him every week. I mean, Mr. Consistent. I mean, he just does what he does. But the 2 touchdowns leaves a statement marked where now you're for this Shadron squad. It's the first time since I think when you were playing that they're in the talk for the RMAC. I think it was
Hmm.
years before you, but now they're in the talk for the total top division spot. Um, so I mean, credit to Shadron coming in and sticking with the game plan and proving out and fighting out of overtime to get a win. Western, I think, we talked about there in playoff mode. Does this win or this loss knock them out instantly, or do they have the opportunity to still get in? In which both these teams have massive games coming up. We'll talk about, but just credit to Shadron for coming out and doing what they did to get a 3-point win.
Couple cool things I want to point out before we move on from this one. So DJ Ralph and Drew Nash actually played together at Saddleback in JUCO. Like they were in a quarterback room together. So pretty cool to see them share the field. Jake Marshall, the running back that heading into the season we kind of had pegged as Shadron's, top running back. That was before we knew about Quincy Riker and Dayton Pearson. But I think he had 9 carries, I want to say, coming into this game. They start using him in the second half and he comes up big. The stats don't really tell the story. Only 34 yards on 16 carries. That's not great production, yards per carry or whatever, but he was just tough, mean yards. Got a big touchdown late that really got that whole building rocking. Aiden Kuster, uh, I want to say he's a freshman. I want to say that was his very first start. What about a first start? 2 picks against Drew Nash, a guy that was a AP All American last year. That has to be. I can't imagine the feeling. Like I got my first pick on Justin Dvorak in 2016, the year he won the Harlan Hill, and it's something I remember to this day and can just quote, off the top of my head. I imagine Aiden Kuster is going to have that same feeling about this magical night down in Shadron, Nebraska. But speaking of magical, I'm calling them the cardiac pack from now on. Like they do it again. Down 28-13 at half. I was out at Shadron shooting the game, but I was trying to watch, do the 2 things at once. When I looked, I looked and Mines had just punted and Pueblo muffed it at like in the red zone. And Mines recovered it and they were already up. I want to say it was still 28-13. I was thinking in my head, oh, they go get a touchdown right here. Bing bong boom, it's game. Or it might have even been 31-20. Nonetheless, Mines was up and got a gift. And I, shoot the game. I go up for halftime and whatnot. And I don't know, Pueblo just they do it again. I don't know how to explain it. These are your pack, your Thunderwolves. What's how are they doing this?
Honestly, again, weirdly, like we said, it's a story of 2 halves. The first half for CSU Pueblo did not go the way they wanted on any way. They come in after halftime, make some adjustments, and boom, now they're back in the game. And when the opportunity comes, they take it and they seize it. And that's something that they've been doing. Now that I've picked against them a few times, a few months or a few weeks in a row, I finally, put the confidence in them, and I was like, oh my god, after the second quarter, I was like, oh my god, I'm cursing these guys. But I mean, they stay relentless, man. They attack as a pack. Watch their defense; they swarm to the ball. I mean, Bryson Torrey, he had an amazing week. Like another, we talk about him and him being a candidate for the defensive player of the year. But I mean, look at all the other guys just flowing around with him too. It makes it easy to do your job when everybody else is doing their job correctly. So in the second half, that's what Pueblo is able to do. On Mine's side, though, Max Barnes is going to be a difficult player. I mean, watching him run truly reminds me of Cameron Mayberry. I mean, Zeman, like, dude, he's a bowling ball. He just runs, hits, bounces off, keeps his balance, keeps moving. Joseph Capper wasn't as comfortable as what we've seen him in the
He didn't
pocket.
have that breakout game that I thought he would in this spot. He didn't.
and that's credit really to Pueblo's front seven of just creating havoc to make you step up, but also the run game for mine seemed to be let's just run the ball. They did it pretty well, and they were doing it like confidence behind it. But Pueblo started, catching a trail of it and picking up on it a little bit early, getting the turnarounds that they needed. And Roman Fuller woke up and took that offense forward, and it was truly just when you say CSU Pueblo in the past, never giving up, always never being out of the game, like that's just what
They're
it looked
starting to
like.
really embody that. They
Yeah,
really are starting to embody that old school Pueblo vibe. Like, yeah, we expect even when we're down, we still expect to win the game. And it almost feels like I don't know, watching that one, it almost felt it was just like I wasn't there in Golden, obviously, but I imagine the stadium felt the exact same way that it did in Gunnison the week before, where you can just feel like, oh my gosh, they're about to snatch everybody's heart in here. And they did it. Credit to them. Want to give a shout out. Their receivers came up huge. Like Matt Soderdahl and JJ and Joel Diaz, they were balling throughout most of this game. But in the big crucial moments, Pueblo won those matchups and they came away with some big time touchdowns and some big time spots. It was a hell of a game. Like if you haven't had the chance, I'd go back and watch this one. It's amazing. It's amazing to just kind of watch. It's even cooler watching knowing what's going to happen. Be it seeing Pueblo down, seeing Mines race out to 28 points and just seeing the energy and being like, wow, Pueblo's really going to give it away. And then watching them slowly walk them down. Like, it was fascinating to watch. Shout out to the Cardiac Pack. They do it once again. But moving along, Highlands was hosting the Skyhawks of Fort Lewis. Highlands gets it done. Big thing I want to shout out, big thing I want to take off the top, Trevor Romaldo. He's leading the conference with 7 picks. Highlands, whenever we think of Highlands, Jeffrey Jones, first thing to come to mind. But 7 picks is that's he's a ball hawk. But yeah, overall Highlands gets it done. Sorry, that's the DB in me that my attention's just drawn to that. But Highlands gets it done. The Thunder and Lightning ground attack, not too much from Colin Stuckey through the air, but they didn't need it to. They didn't need to, and that was surprising because Fort Lewis, their defense. I know their record is 2-8, but their defense is more stout than people think, especially against the run. So it was surprising to see Highlands really be able to establish a ground game like that. What do you think about the Cowboys having what is, I mean, the best season that I can remember, and I've been around the RMAC since 2012.
yeah. I mean, they're building something special down there, and you like seeing it. You like the culture. You see it every week, just growing and growing and growing. Um, their rushing attack. I mean, speak first. Jeffrey Jones, I believe he's 72 yards away from setting the record at Highlands for most rushing yards in a full season, and he's going to do it with probably 100 less carries. So it just speaks volumes that you've got a freshman. If you're able to keep this and keep him with you in your program, and then keep building that offensive line, keep building everybody in the scheme. I mean, Highlands is going to be a force to be reckoned with here soon. It might not be this season, but I mean, get a good offseason in them. They're going to be something, especially if they got that new stadium too,
Oh
than
man,
just the new athletic department.
the
In
new
total, though,
Highlands.
yeah, the new Highlands. Their defense was flying around for Highlands, and that's what really gave them a chance. I mean, every week we don't usually talk about like Highlands defense, but I mean, they were out there giving the ball back and just flowing correctly, just running to the ball, 6, 7 guys following the ball, which is a change from us seeing 3, 4 a couple weeks ago. For Fort Lewis, I mean, the problem goes the offense, but we're seeing a quarterback actually develop play. Like I truly haven't seen a Fort Lewis quarterback throw for 200 and be like consistent with that in a long time, like in a long time. Jacob Penny leading the nation, correct, is what we were kind of saying. He's leading the nation in tackles now, or he's up there. Um,
No, 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 no. He's leading. He
he's
has
leading.
136 right now. I think the next closest guy is the Washburn guy, JC Hine. He's in the I think it's 122 or so. He's in the 120s, but no, Jacob Penny is leading the nation. He's The next closest guy in the RMAC is 44 tackles away from Jacob Payne.
I mean, dude, just imagine what if he were on somebody else's team, like if he were on Western, or if he's on Shadron, if he's on Pueblo, like we're giving him the defensive player of year award just instantly.
Mhm.
That's what sucks. But I mean, big shout out to Jacob. Keep doing your thing. You literally show up and you're most consistent. Like every week. I think we called you the Secretary of Defense. I mean, it's proven, man. So keep battling. Both teams got an opportunity to get another win this next week, but a great showing. I mean, for New Mexico Highlands to be the best that we've truly seen them, and just how that culture is just growing and growing and growing every year.
Oh yeah. Well, a culture that, you know, is it growing? Is it stagnant? What's your take on the Mavs as they sit at 6-4, with a huge game coming up? They obviously get the win over SD Mines behind, Cole Hansen. Really, this is what I've been wanting to see. This is the base I've been wanting to see. Throwing the ball around, having a balanced attack. We don't have it in the stats here, but Aiden Taylor, he went over the century mark again. Really balanced ground game. No turnovers from the QB spot. White Henny gets another interception. Your boy. What do you think? I mean, we expected the Mavs to win, and they were pretty dominant, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, we expected them. This is what we expect Mace to be doing every week right now with who they have. These are your third, fourth, some of these guys, third and fourth year classes. Some of these guys are going to be fifth year, just because of how it went. But this is where you want to see that consistency. They've already proven that they can get up there. They can win a couple big games. Now this next year, you build after it. For somebody like Cash Bradley, you're proud of your career because when you came in, Mesa was not at a very good point. They weren't, and now you're able to establish a legacy. Getting two Nikos Cups back to back, going into your senior year, leaving on a winning record is kind of what a lot of these guys want to do. Obviously, you want to chase the ring, but you want to be able to say like, I changed that. You come back 2 years from now, you see them playing in the conference, you did that. So Mesa, I mean, they're powering it on both sides right now. That defense is flying around, creating turnovers, creating havoc in the backfield, not giving the opposing quarterback confidence or even time to really sit back there and think. And then the offense, I mean, Cole Hansen's kind of just letting that thing fling. He's got a weird release, and I think that could throw off a lot of people. But he's letting it fling, and then it helps when you can just hand the ball off, and your guy's going to get 4, 5, 6, 7 yards.
What about on the SD Mine side? Another L, but like this is obviously a rebuilding year. My boy JD says in Coach Four, we still trust. Gage Baker in the development, kind of a rough outing for him out in Grand Junction, but this is a defense that does fly around. They do create a lot of turnovers. They've created turnovers in almost every game, the big ones included. What do you think of Gage Baker and how he performed on the road and the really long road trip for the SD Mines kids?
Really, you just it wasn't like it was bad. Like they had their strengths throughout the game. It was just Mesa showed up and was just showing that they're just that much better. Um, South Dakota, like we said, they went into this year only having 6 guys that have actually played college football. So some of these games, you go on a long road trip like that, you get into a hostile environment of, the students are literally right behind you at Colorado Mesa. It is completely different than a lot of other stadiums that you play at. And they get to you. You don't get that confidence built up. The defense is out there, multiple possessions at a time. You just start to wear down. And they're gonna learn together. You got to take all these thumps, but you got to take them together. And hopefully you've got one more week left of football. You go out there and get one more win. But for these guys, they're kind of the opposite of those Mesa, seniors. They're trying to establish something. They're trying to find an identity, take it to the off season, keep building on it, and then come out as juniors and seniors themselves, even sophomores, and produce.
Before we let this one go, big shout out to Will Lester. I feel like he's a guy we haven't talked about nearly enough. Like he does this from the safety spot. Like you played safety. Tell people how hard it is to just lead the team I mean, I guess on some teams it's not. I guess I've seen iterations of defense where safeties lead in tackles, but I don't know. It's just impressive. Like I don't know what accolades he stands to get, but I do think he's one of the most physical and violent players in the RMAC. Like I've seen him catch a ton of bodies this year, and I just want to give him a big shout out. He's a senior, not having the winning season like he probably hoped, but we see you, Mr. Lester. We see you. You're a baller, man. Speaking of ballers, Luke Dewey, 5 touchdowns. Mr. Chuck War, the nation's leader in touchdowns, wasn't even Black Hill's most productive receiver on Saturday. That went to senior Kelby Olson, but Black Hills they get it done. My graphics are messed up again. I always have one that I just completely mess up. Black Hills won this game. Sorry, the scores are off. You want to look up the actual scores, Draper? What was the score for this one?
Let me see real
What
quick.
was it? Sorry, guys. I'm on call, guys, so I got a lot going on this week. 59-0, Black Hills. That's what it was. 59-0. They blank Adams in their house. You see the stats are correct, or maybe not the Adams ones, but Luke Doobie, the 5 TDs. I know the Black Hills ones are accurate. I remember seeing a lot of this stuff. Luke Doobie has a day. Black Hills, they get it done. We expected them to. 59-0. Are you a little disappointed in Adams not putting up any resistance?
Just a little bit. I mean, I didn't. This is a game I didn't really catch much of. It was at a weird time, and I was in the middle of working myself. Just looking at the stats, kind of catching up. I mean, Doobie threw for 331, which you got that on the dot, but he threw
I got the
for
Black Hills ones right,
he
I think.
threw 20 total passes, and 13 of them were completed. On this, it has a catching thing. I guess 18 of those were catchable. So I mean, he actually had an art on target day. Like he was literally
Mhm.
throwing. That's a gamer of Luke Doobie that we've talked about. For Adams, Adams State Fort Lewis, that is. Gavin threw 31 attempts. Had a little bit of struggle back there, but he also rushed 10 attempts for 37 yards himself. So just looking at the stats, I mean, he's just up there and up there. And that's one thing you hate to see is just there's nobody else producing yards, receptions. Um, there's no help. And when you want to see him giving a fight back, I mean, it's hard. It's like everybody's already hung up their pads. They're waiting for off season when you still got football to be played. I mean, you're blessed to play it. So you want to see some type of fight back. But I mean, again, we did say this was one of the best 2 and whatever teams last week, or 1 and whatever teams
For
coming
no
to play you.
reason.
Yeah, and here they are. They showed that if they played consistent, played very well. I know it's Adams, but I mean, they're a good football team.
Well, hopefully the Grizzlies, I mean, they got to go on the road. They're playing SD Mines, so they have a small chance of winning still. But some of our conference's best this week. I got to watch 2 of these guys live. Mr. Retzlaff, the reigning offensive player of the year in 2024. We got the freshman Aiden Kuster coming up with the 2 picks, and then Wilson Yee with the ice in his veins. Big kick, big moment. Reggie, 3 tubs. 2 of them a little bit disputed. If you watch the game, I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm just telling you what the people are saying. The first one, the people think a pick play should have been called on it, and then the second one, or I don't know if it was the second or third, but one of them, people do not think he caught it. Nonetheless, 3 touchdowns is 3 touchdowns, if that's what the box score says. Mr. Retzlaff continues to do his thing whenever he's healthy and just flowing in that flow state. Um, he's kind of unguardable. Mr. Kuster, the 2 picks, big time in his very first start, huge win over top 10 team in the country, and then Mr. Yee. What do you think? Any of these guys really jump off the? Any of them stand out more than the others? Like, if you had to pick only one player of the week for last week, because these are the players that decided the 2 biggest games, who would you give it to? It,
If it's gonna be a single player, it's got to be the guy that made the single play to win the game, and that to me is Wilson Yee. A lot of credit does not go to kickers, um, but I mean when you have your confidence in your coach to say, "Hey, it's 3rd and 15, we're just gonna throw Yee out there and let him kick it in." I mean, like,
that's crazy. I didn't even realize that. Like being there live, like I'm not gonna lie, like it was so cold, bro. Like it wasn't even that the degrees were so low. Like I'm from Colorado, I can deal with the cold. The wind was just crazy. So like I was freezing. The sun was starting to set. It was cold. I was trying to take pictures. It was a lot. I didn't realize that. It wasn't until I watched it back that I was like, "Yo, it's third down. Why are they kicking?" Oh, because Coach Long just believes in Wilson Yee like that. Like you said, takes a lot of confidence to do that. And they were rewarded with a win. And that win, leads to other rewards. They move up 3 spots in the polls. Meanwhile, losing does have its consequences as well. Western drops out of the top 10 down to 22. Pueblo holds serve at 7. But obviously I see our teams whenever I look at these first and foremost, but what stands out to you?
I mean, just looking at it, I still think the top 5, number 3 is going to be the easiest knockout of the first round. I don't know why. Um, Pueblo's right in the right spot. They're in the right phase right now. They've got to go in and win this next week. But they're in a good spot right now to get a good spot, get a good playoff, hopefully a home playoff game, and then go out there and take the road dominance, continue their hot streak. But man, Northwest Missouri, they are a team. They are playing and doing some things that you don't want to see at this time in football, especially and honestly, same with Mankato. I know we won't see them for a while, but Mankato is putting up. They're cooking right at the right time. We've seen them, get into these playoffs and do some upsets. Um, I do when you
We
first
know
see the
there's going to
20.
be some shakeups regardless. Like we
Yeah,
got 9 playing 5 this week. We got
7,
6 playing
19.
20,
Yeah.
7 and 19. Like there's going to be some shakeups. Here let's pick those games. So pick Northwest. Who you got?
I'm going to take Northwest Missouri. I think they're going to go in there and go ahead and take that win there. Um, I've got Western Oregon upsetting Central Washington.
You're out of your mind.
I've just got it happening. I think we're in that type
Kenny
of.
McGill is Drew Nash Northwest.
Well, we're seeing some things right now where a lot of teams are dropping these late games, and I think there's something I'm cooking up in the air with that one.
Not the Cats. Okay. Oh yeah, we're not gonna have you pick that last one. Let's my bad. I'm like, oh yeah, right. Let's see. This is our slate of games for this week. Here, let's just dive right into them. Adams, their last opportunity to get off the snide. I don't think they do it. I don't think they do it. I don't think they do it on the road against SD Mines. I think that's going to be a long road trip from Alamosa, long bus ride. It's been a rough season. I'm sure it's been tough on a lot of the guys, especially the seniors and whatnot. Like, dude, they had a senior day where everybody's parents were there and they lost 59-0. I'm sure that has to. I know that would weigh on me. Me as a player, like we went 7-4 my last year, and I felt like we were failures. So I don't believe that they're going to be able to flip that switch. I think it's going to take Coach Gallus a full off season, getting in more players of his choosing and building. But I don't think they get it done. I think SD Mines holds serve at home and gets that third win of the season, that elusive one.
Yeah, we said that we were going to talk a little bit to hypes for these, but for Adams, you want to see them get the win of the year. Those seniors walk off with one win their senior year. For South Dakota Mines, you want more experience, one win at home, send your seniors off goodbye. Hey, this wasn't the year you wanted, but now you build from that. I've got South Dakota Mines winning by 14.
And I'm gonna pop up the people that pick in the comments that I can see. I'm gonna pop these up just so we got these for the record. JD has has SD Mines, of course, the connection with Coach Floor in Northwest Mizzou, and my guy, Mr. Nason. Is it Nason? It looks like. Should it be pronounced like Mason, just Nason?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's Nason.
Wesley has Shat or SD Mines by 21. Moving along to our next. This one's another easy pick for me. Ain't no way Fort Lewis is beating the Ore Diggers. This ain't Pueblo. I know it's in Durango, but the Ore Diggers ain't Pueblo, so they ain't losing in Durango. What say you?
Yeah, I got the same thing as you. I got the Nerds recouping back up, not dropping a game. They're going to take a little bit of frustration out. A lot of these seniors that have been in a great history of Mines, they're going to leave with at least a happiness on their face. I got Mines by probably about 30-35 points.
30-35 points. Um, I ever picked mines. JD going with mines for the first time in the history of picks. That's crazy. Um, yeah, I think mines rolls. I think man, who wins the collision? Max Barnes, Jacob Penny, and the A gap.
We're going to see it a few times. I'm going to give it out of 10 times it's going to happen. Jacob Penny gets 6 of them.
6-4 in favor of Mr. Penny.
Yep.
Well, RMAC Insider. He has my. I think we all got mine. We love to see Mr. Penny get. If Mr. Penny pulls that off, do we give him Defensive Player of the Year if he beats Vines too?
We just got to give it to him. He's gonna, he's gonna get another 20 tackles this week. We're just gonna have to
Oh
give
yeah.
it to him.
Oh yeah. Highlands on the road. This one I think is a little bit trickier. You look at the records, you're gonna think Highlands if you're not familiar and you're just looking at these side by sides we got, and you don't know like kind of the stigma with Highlands. You'd probably think, oh yeah, Highlands wins this game, but we have context. We know things. Could Black Hills knock off Highlands?
I think there's a reality in a picture that does happen. I do think this is a game where if we have the Highlands or if we've seen the Black Hills play like we've seen them actually play, this game's going to go 4 full quarters and it's going to be down to the final possession of Jeffrey Jones scoring a touchdown because I got New Mexico Highlands winning it.
I've been rolling with the Cowboys all year, man. All year I've been rolling with the Cowboys. I don't know though. Something about them having to go up to Black Hill, deal with playing against that swarm defense. I think Black Hills. I think they're gonna send off their seniors the right way. I think they send Cooper Brown, and the boys off the right way. I think this might be the game where Cameron Goods, a running back that's super talented, that kind of hasn't had the year maybe we thought he would. I think he gets over the century mark this week. I think Mr. Chuck Wara, I think he puts an exclamation point on his bid for conference player of the year. I think he scores at least 2 touchdowns, 150 yards. Give me Black Hills. Give me Black Hills by 7, but in a high scoring affair, like 48-42 Black Hills.
Okay. I definitely got a high scoring game as well.
JD agrees, says Black Hills with a stunner, as well as Mr. Nathan. He got BHSU by 7. Man, the battle for the Western Slope, battle for Western Slope supremacy. Um, I've mentioned this before. Mesa hasn't won this game since your boy was wearing that helmet up there. It's been a while. That was in 2018. But with COVID happening, technically Western's on a 5-game winning streak. I was doing a little digging on this one before just because I played in it and whatnot. Um, I want to say the all time is Mesa 25 to Western's 24. So Western could tie up the series this year. Like I said, they're on a 5-game winning streak. Prior to that, Mesa had a 5-game winning streak. So like this, even though it seemed like Western's in a way higher place than Mesa, this is a rivalry game, man. What do the Mavs got to do to go get this one done in Gunnison on the road?
I think we got to see them play like they did last week. All three sides of the ball just flowing and playing, complementary football. Western's got to get out of the slope. Weird thing to say, but they got to get out of the slope that they're in right now. They got to put this away. I really think Western, if they do not win here, they're sitting ninth spot. They're looking into the playoffs, wondering how did we go this full year and not do it. Mesa's, I think they've got the opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and take the Mavs and then upset. They're going to go in there and keep the rumbling herd stampeding over Western Slope, taking over Gunnison, Colorado this weekend.
Hey, you got other people that agree with you. You read this one? Do the right thing, Mace. They want Mesa to lose. Actually, I take it right back. He doesn't agree with you. He needs Mesa to lose. But JD, that's a big one. JD thinks the spiral continues for Western. I'm torn on this one. I'm really torn on this one because obviously, I love the Mavs. I bleed Mav room. But Western, that defense. Do I think Mace is going to be able to run the ball on that front seven? No. I don't think Shadron really ran the ball effectively on them last week. I don't think Pueblo really ran all over. I haven't seen anybody really run all over him. I know that's what Mace is going to try to do. So it's going to be a battle in the trenches, like whose front seven is going to win. Ah, I've gone with Western the past 2 weeks, back against the wall. I've said, you know what? The president, he'll find a way. Do I do it a third time? I think I do. I think the third time is going to be the charm. I'm sorry, Mav Nation. I'm sorry, Mav family. I just don't think that. Obviously, Cole did his thing through the air last week, but I think doing that against an SD Mines defense is a lot different. Is a lot different than doing it against a Coach Hauer coach defense. And I think Western's defense played really well last week. Honestly, like despite the loss, like I thought Cade Musser was all over. I thought the front seven was flying around. Ricky Freeman, he didn't come up with any sacks, but I thought he was living in the backfield, creating havoc. I don't think that they played bad. I think they just ran into a really, really good team that, had one more play than they did. So I'm gonna roll with Western, but I do think the Mavs give them a game just because Western seems to just be so jarred right now. You know what I mean? Like JD had said it in the comment earlier, like this slide in the past 2 weeks, it's just wild. Like we might need to study this offseason. Like how do you go from a top 5 team in the country to on the outside looking in on the playoffs in a 2-week span? It's crazy. So I do think just the fact that they're reeling gives Mesa the opportunity to come in and make it a close game, but I think Western gets it done. It may be close though. Like if it comes down to it, I don't think Western is even going to attempt to kick this time. I think they're 4 down territory as soon as the fourth quarter starts. If it's a close game, we're going for everything. So give me the Nears at home to end it right for the seniors, and hopefully that's not the end. Hopefully they get that benefit of the doubt from the committee and get that playoff spot. But this is the game of the week. We've got number 19 Shadron coming to Southern Colorado, I should say, to take on the CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves in the Steel City. Man, both undefeated in conference play, conference crown on the line, undisputed. Me and you, we don't know about undisputed. I want to say almost all of our rings were shared, right? Me and yours, everyone
Yep.
that we won. I never won one undisputed. It's all on the line. Who do you got?
I think it's going to come down to who shows up. If we see the Shadron team that's been playing the games that they've been playing and they just keep chugging along all 4 quarters, it's going to be scary for a team like Pueblo, what they've kind of gone through the past 2 weeks of catching back up. I think if truly at half, if Shadron's in the lead, they're just going to keep chugging ahead, and it's going to be hard for Pueblo. But if Pueblo comes out firing how I think they're going to come out firing, it's going to be all Pueblo all day. My heart says go Pueblo. The history of Pueblo and the fact that we took on Shadron and said we'll take you anywhere, anytime. So this is also a rivalry game for us. I'm gonna say CSU Pueblo by 14. They go up there and they win the undisputed back-to-back champs. Or they go out there, not up there. Sorry.
14, not 41.
I meant to say Pueblo is gonna score 41. That was the lucky number last week.
That was a good one, Mr. Lewis. But man, so yeah, there's a couple ways I can see this game playing out. The past 2 weeks, Pueblo has not come out firing on all cylinders. Respectfully, they've gotten punched in the mouth the past 2 weeks. But they've shown that they have the chin to withstand that, to withstand the fire, and be able to punch back. I don't think they want to do that against a team like Shadron. So I think Pueblo's going to come out trying to. I think they're going to come out trying to take some shots. They're going to make these Shadron corners prove that they can cover. They're going to make them prove. Do you have a guy that can run with Marcellus Honeycutt? We shall see. We're going to see. What does that Shadron, Nebraska toughness look like when it meets the athleticism and swagger of CSU Pueblo? I think we're in for a treat. For my pick, and I'm not gonna lie, I told one of the Shadron players this week that I was gonna pick them, but I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't pick against the Cardiac Pack. Not after what I've seen the past 2 weeks. It reminded me of like a team I played on in 2016. I don't know if you were aware. We had a player that passed away in the springtime, Austin Warbington. May his soul rest in peace. But our whole thing was for Warby, and it just felt like everything was destined and written. Like the way we beat you guys that year, the double OT, the blocked kick on back-to-back weeks. I'm starting to look at Pueblo the same way. Like they shouldn't have won that game. That was something divine, and I guess they've made me a believer in the past 2 weeks. I'm not picking against the Pack. Give me the Pack. I don't know. I do think Shadron has the defense because I think their defense is I think it's just as good as Western's watching it up close last week. So I do think that they can give the Pack troubles, but I just think the receiving core is going to be too much. And unless Logan O'Brien has unless he channels like Ricky Freeman versus Western or versus Mines last year and just wrecks the game with like 2 or 3 sacks, I think Roman Fuller is going to be able to stick in the pocket, stand in the fire, and deliver to his guys. And yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Eagle Nation. I'm sorry, Fighting Woodheads, but I got Pueblo. If I had to say a score, Pueblo 31, Shadron 24.
Good
But
calls.
something a little different. We're at the end of the season. Obviously, we don't get to vote on these things, but we've been talking about it all year. There's more. Obviously, there's the conference title on the line. There's playoff implications on the line, which we're going to get to next. Regional rankings are coming up next, the next slide. But we've been having this debate all year about the defensive player of the year. And we're about to get to watch both these guys play in what is the conference's biggest game of the year. Does the DPOY go to whoever makes a big play in this game, or does Jacob Penny have an outside shot on it?
I think it's really going to come down to really who shows up this weekend out of these two guys to really put them in the conversation of the top lead of it. Unfortunately, I wish we could just say Jacob Penny's going to be that guy. It's just, where he's at and the stats and how it kind of he's the guy that's going to do all of what he does. And Logan O'Brien, he's got the front seven that everybody knows. And CSU Pueblo, it's not the same front that we're used to seeing the D line be as havoc, but it just spreads around. I really do think Logan O'Brien's in the lead by just a little bit, just because he's done just that much more, especially with like the tackles for losses, the getting back there and the hurries, the pressures. But this game is kind of like you said, like you got the ring up for grabs, and you also got the defensive player of the year up for the grabs. Who wants it most out of the both of those? And I think truly whoever wins is going to get both of them.
Like we said, well, this is some individual accolades, but like we've been teasing, the bigger implications are the playoffs. So these are the most recent regional rankings that came out this week. Obviously, Harding holding serve at 1. Central Washington undefeated in D2 play at 2. Then we got Northwest Missouri and CSU Pueblo. So if things held today and the playoffs started tomorrow, those 4 teams would all be hosting. They'd be playing the 4 below them. So with these matchups, you get UTBB at Pueblo. Obviously, I think with just the way, even though Western Oregon should play, or yeah, it would be Western Oregon, Central Washington. Yeah, that lines up. Yeah, this could be the field, but there's still games to be played. Obviously, Shadron and Pueblo, so that's gonna have huge ramifications on this. Northwest is playing Pitt State this week. UTPB and Western, they're really close in numbers, but Western probably jumps them in the numbers game just because UTPB is playing Sul Ross State this week, whereas Western Colorado is playing 6-4 Mesa team. So assuming they both win, you'd think Western may, with the numbers game, get the edge over UTPB, but obviously there's a committee. They factor all these things in, but they're still humans. Like, who would you pick? Who's more deserving of that last playoff spot, UTPB or Western Colorado?
I told you this earlier. I think they both get in. And I think this only because Central Washington and Western Oregon play. I know I took Western Oregon for the upset. I just think, Central Washington does win. It bounces Western Oregon out. Those two are going to slide up and they're going to be in it. True. The biggest thing that I'm looking at right now is the number 3 and number 5, them playing, and that really being the battle for who gets home seating or first home game. And the same with Pueblo and Shadron. If Shadron loses, I think they'll be an 8 seed. If Pueblo loses, I think they'll be a 6 seed. But Northwest Missouri and Pitt State, those are the two that are going to be flipping. Like if Northwest Missouri loses, I still think they drop the 4. And then Pitt actually gets into it as well. Like it's weird, but those two teams have the strength of schedule so much higher, and they kind of did it to themselves. Honestly, they've proven that they can go through the reins to put themselves in this kind of situation. But I think we're saying 8 and 9 are actually going to get in because somebody else can get knocked out. It's going to be fun looking at playoffs. I mean, SR4 is and crazy. I mean, crazy. This
Look
is
at
a
this,
murder
like,
fest.
yeah, like all these teams are very deserving, very, very excellent teams and whatnot, but only 8 are getting in. And I don't know, man. I don't know, like, I'm just gonna be honest, like, we're only humans and there's a such thing as recency bias. Like Western, just the 2 collapses. It's like it's if they do get in, it's almost like they're limping into the playoffs. Is that really where the committee's going to go? But then you also look at like Western Oregon, assuming they lose, that'll put them at 7-2, but that's only 7 D2 wins. Like scheduling, I want to say they played an FCS school or some other level school that doesn't count in this, but does that burn them? Does the committee hold that against them that they didn't play as many D2 games as the rest of the bunch? Like, there's so many things to go in there. I'm glad it's not my job and I'm not picking it. You guys know if I was picking it, it'd just be like we'd get like 4 RMAC teams in here somehow. But we're gonna see. There's still a lot to be decided. Shadron could really blow things up if they go up to Pueblo and win. Like, what if Western Oregon and Shadron win? What does that do to all this?
Makes you think who gets the host. I mean, if Western Oregon wins, I mean it ruins Western Colorado's chances. I mean instantly. The Western Colorado, your win and Western Oregon loses, you're in. Or UTPB, but UTB plays Sul Ross, so I
They're
don't
not
see
losing
that
to
one
Sul
happening.
Ross. Yeah.
Shadron, I mean if they win, they're shaking it up to
Do they
where
jump up to 4?
I think they got to get a playoff spot. Or a home spot. I think they
A home
got to get
game?
a home game. I think they have to get a home game. I think that's fair, and the conference winners should be, you know, you should be rewarded
Hosting a
with a home
game,
game.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be a fun week. Obviously, for those that aren't aware, I want to say that the selection show's on Sunday, right?
yeah,
So hey, these were just their last rankings they put out. Obviously, there's some games to be played, but tune in on Sunday. Go to ncaa.com. They'll have it broadcasting, and this field will be decided. Like Western's fate will be decided by Sunday. We'll know. But before we go, just want to thank Mr. Bush and the RMAC Network for always helping us with video and content. Couldn't do this show without him. Shout out to Wit. Wit helps me out a lot too, producing and whatnot. But man, Draper, I can't believe we're really at the end, dude. Next week it's this is our last RMAC weekly for 2025. Any parting words for the fans? You go first. I'll go after.
yeah. I mean, one, crazy that we're even here this fast is fun. Thankful for everybody who tunes in week in and week out. They get in the comments on Twitter, or they're in our group chat that we have on Instagram. Thank you for RMAC Insider, just for how much you do for us in
Mm.
general. All your highlights, your stats, your upkeeps, your texts throughout the week, your ADHD-ness at 6 in the morning. I mean, without you, there's not a heartbeat that for us in a lot of ways. AC, I appreciate you. I mean, we both had a crazy season out of football, in football. But you being, right there, you're the guy. Shout out to all the other D2 guys for giving us this platform to speak on. And this isn't the end of us, the end of RMAC Insider, but we'll be there next week talking about one of our teams that's in the playoffs, at least one of them.
Hey, and I'd just like to second all that. Shout out to everybody that tunes in, all the fans, all the people that see me and talk to me at games. You don't know how appreciative I am, and just how cool it is to see as a former player, just as we grow this thing for our conference, for our guys putting it out on the line week in and week out. Like as a former player, I don't think our guys get nearly enough recognition. So I love being able to do this. Shout out to Mr. Meisner, the GOAT, and Chuck and all the guys, K Ferg, Tony, Witt, Justin, all the guys. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to all the fans. We can't do this without you guys. So thank you so much. Catch me in Pueblo this week. I'll be at the big game. Say what's up, and we'll be back next week to talk some playoffs.